Finally, let's take a look at what happens when we add our k value here, what we're going to call our vertical shifter. We've talked already about the scalar, our a, which determines how wide or narrowly our parabola opens. We've talked about the horizontal shifter, which moves the vertex left or right across the axis. Now what we need to see is what happens when we add a vertical shifter. How is that going to affect our vertex? Well, let's try -2, 0, and 2 for our y is equal to x squared minus 5. So y is equal to -2 squared minus 5. Then y is equal to 4 minus 5. And that'll give us a -1. So when x is -2, then y is -1, somewhere thereabouts. When x is equal to 0, we get 0 minus 5, or y is equal to -5. Okay, well, here's y is -5, so 0, -5 is a point. When x is equal to 2, I'm going to get 2 squared minus 5, or again 4 minus 5, which would be that it would be -1 again. So here we are with our parabola at 1, at 2, and -1. So here's our parabola opening up, and let's compare that to our normal parabola, where y is equal to x squared. Notice what happened was that our vertex shifted again, but this time it shifted down. That's because when we have our k value, our number outside the parentheses, what it does is it shifts our parabola in that direction that number of times. Now let's have some fun with both a vertical and a horizontal shifter. Let's try y is the quantity x minus 3 squared minus 5. We already know what having a value in the parentheses here does. It shifts the vertex horizontally by the opposite shift. And that's important that we know that this one is the opposite value that it shifts. But now we're not only shifting in the horizontal fashion, we're also going to shift in a vertical fashion. And in this case, we're going to shift it down 5. So we shifted over 3 and now down 5, and our new vertex is right here. And because our scalar, 3, 4, because our scalar is 1, this is just a normal parabola, opening up exactly as the other parabolas are opening. And notice that our vertex shifted both to the right and down. So the form of the equation y equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k tells you that the vertex of your parabola is going to be at whatever h is, the opposite of h, and k. That's the vertex of your parabola. Now the only thing you need to do is put in your scalar. And in this case we had a scalar of 1. Let's try one with a different scalar. Y is equal to 2 times x plus 2 squared plus 2. Look at all the 2's we've got here. Okay. Well, we know that the vertex of this parabola is going to be at the opposite of h and whatever k is, right? So the opposite of h and k. So our vertex is going to be at -2, and that's a positive, so +2. So our vertex is going to be back 2 and up 2. So there is our vertex. We've now basically reset both our line of symmetry we've reset our line of symmetry, our LOS, is now that x equals -2. And we've also reset our minimum value in this case. You can either have a minimum or a maximum value. In this case, we know it's a minimum value because our parabola is going to open up. And our minimum value in this case is 2. So now that we've reset both of those, let's use our scalar, right? Because basically, once we've got our vertex, we have this equation. Unless there's a number outside of that parentheses, and in this case there is the number 2. So whatever we take for x squared, we need to double it. So if my x from the 0 point, if my x were 1, 1 squared is 1, 1 times 2 is 1, 2. So we have to go up 2. And notice I'm just going to mirror on the opposite side of my line of symmetry. Okay, now again, from the 0 point, if our x were 2, 1, 2, our x squared is 2, but we have to double it. So it would be going up 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, on the opposite side of my line of symmetry, I'll double it. And so our parabola is going to open up in this narrow fashion. Let's try one really quickly. If x were, see, y equals -2 times the quantity x minus 4 squared plus 1. All right, our vertex will be 4, 1. So it'll be, let's do this one in blue. It'll be 4 and 1. There's our vertex. This is going to open down -2. So over 1, down 1, 2. Over 1, down 1, 2. And then we would just draw our parabola like that. Case closed. Well done. Good job.